Hi and welcome to Uncapped, where we lift the lid off natural and low-tox lifestyles with essential oils. I'm Jess Raitt. Today might feel like a roller coaster, filled with unexpected twists and turns, and I have no idea where it will lead us. But like every conversation with this remarkable guest sitting next to me, you'll end up just like the rest of us, craving more time with her to hopefully catch some of her drive, her enthusiasm, her wit, and her spark for life. Today, I have the privilege of welcoming integrative medicine mentor Alice Nicholls to the couch to deep dive into one of the most exciting new product launches we have, the metaPWR system, and to learn a little more about how this AU founder and presidential diamond still feels the passion to teach rebellious wellness after 7 years in doTERRA. Strap yourselves in, everybody. This will be fun. Welcome, Alice Nicholls.
Thank you, Jess. And apologies to doTERRA, Jess Raitt no longer works here. She is now my personal introduction assistant and will be following me everywhere I go.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
I'm so excited.
It's really exciting to have you here. Now, I'm going to embarrass you straight off the bat. I wanted to introduce you in a way that was a little bit more personal. So I asked some of my colleagues and also some of your dearest friends to describe you in 3 words or less. Are you ready?
Have we got a bleep button?
Everyone promised to be on their best behaviour, but you know, the words that came out were really beautiful. We got smart and funny. We got scary and fun, magnetic and entertaining. And I also learnt something really interesting about you. Apparently you relax or wind down by reading true crime. Is that true?
The bloodier the better. Yeah, it's either the Kardashians or that, and I think this is healthier, to be honest.
Polar opposites, right?
It's true.
But because of your wit and your enthusiasm for doTERRA, there is no one more perfect to sit on the couch with me today and talk about this incredible new system that we have just launched in doTERRA land, the metaPWR range. But before we delve into this, and we've got a lot to talk about today, what led you here? Why are you so passionate about integrative wellness after so many years with doTERRA?
Yeah, I think that you've just hit the nail on the head there. So you mentioned, you're so passionate about doTERRA, and I am, but the passion itself is for holistic well-being. And so I was working in the space of coaching in wellness, and I came across doTERRA as a customer, and I dove quickly into learning the ethos of the company, the value system of the company, the quality of the products, the efficacy of the products themselves. And I hyperfixate on things. And so I dove really deep, really quickly. And what happened was everything I learned supported my passion for the holistic wellbeing industry. And so it just was a coincidence that there was a company that I'd found that ticked the boxes of, I suppose, the pillars of wellness that I wanted to create my own ripple effect out in the world with and teach people with, and that the business itself gave me a vehicle of being able to do that en masse with the incredible backing of the organization themselves and help what my individual mission would have been, and basically supercharge that. I couldn't be where I was. So I wouldn't be where I was today and have the opportunity to reach as many people without the backing of this business and everything they stand for. So the model itself just gives me the opportunity to link hands with other people who have similar desires to be able to, promote and inspire wellness in the world. And this is how we make the biggest impact. And doTERRA keeps hitting the nail on the head with everything that we produce, because it keeps giving us, incredible tools to be able to do this, and in alignment with healthy lifestyle foundations that we already have in our lives. It's a pretty powerful platform to elevate from. For me, I have never been healthier physically and emotionally since I have begun to partner with doTERRA. I actually shared some images in a presentation I did the other night, which included photographs of me, not deliberately to show this, but I had people messaging me afterwards, which showed photos of me the month that I started with doTERRA, and then a year later again, and 6 months after that. And I had people messaging me and saying it's quite extraordinary to see your physical transformation as your alignment with the business has grown. And it's true that you can witness me looking younger than I have when I started 7 years ago, brighter, as if I have more vitality, and I definitely do, and feeling more energized than I did in 2016 when I first started with doTERRA. Like, these products and the company have aligned with my own path to a wellness that I've not experienced. So I want to share that with other people, and it's fantastic to have the opportunity to do that.
And it's contagious. You know, when I get to see you on socials, and it's just such a treat to have you in person today as well. But when I see you online, you're portraying this lifestyle as well it is contagious. I want to be a part of that journey. I want to lead that life. I know I sound a bit congested today in Melbourne. The weather is a little bit bland and we succumb to viruses and illnesses from time to time. But what I love is that we have empowerment utilising products within the doTERRA space, that we can live our best lives, and seeing what you do, it's inspirational.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And the great thing is the life that I share. So this this presentation of how I live my life within my social media sharing, those are all truths. And so these are genuine experience. You know, I'm genuinely getting up in the morning and going to a ride class or going to a HIIT Pilates class or going for a surf, depending on what, you know, the weather's like and the waves are like and which direction the wind's coming. Like, I'm really doing all these things. You don't see me when I'm, you know, having a rough time with my kids so much. Like, it's the highlight reel of what you're doing in that sense. But the tools that I bring into my life to support my foundational wellness, I share them, and they're genuinely things that I have used to elevate myself into this area of health and wellness that I feel in now. And there is a doTERRA product or tool that aligns with every single component of that. And my audience get to see me in this trusted space, I suppose, honestly using and elevating my life with these products. You know, I've been traveling a lot lately with work. I've been on international trips. I have another one coming up to New Zealand with doTERRA in less than a fortnight. And I tend to do a, you know, what's in my bag. I take different things with me each time, and then there's some products that will come with me on every single trip. And in every time I say, like, what's in my bag? What have I got to support me on this trip? There is doTERRA products across the nutritional range or supplements range, the essential oils range for sleep, for energy, for respiratory, for digestion. There is my skincare and beauty products or hair care now, you know, and even on the last international trip, I was able to get my hands on some of the sun care or sunscreen range. So there is no component of my life where a doTERRA product isn't involved in making that part of my foundational wellness better. And that's that fortification of wellness that I think is so important. It's how do we eat well, move well, work on our mindset and our personal development, and then how can we impact and fortify those different areas of our life using really, really fantastic quality products on top of that. And that's what the company offers us, all of us.
And what you offer in return, and thank you for doing this, is showcasing what that looks like in like a daily setting, in a weekly setting. So if you are traveling, we can see what's in your bag because it makes it real. We can see how we can infuse this into our day-to-day. So what I'm really impressed with is how you have very cleverly, and I think your friends are very switched on because they've recognised how smart you are, that you have tailored your businesses to support the doTERRA lifestyle as well. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what your social platforms look like and how they feed into each other?
Yeah, so number one, I want to meet people where they are, which is mobile these days. And we have been for, you know, over a decade now, which is really fantastic. And we do have a business that lends itself to an aspirational model. So people watch and they want to be a part of that. And so there's a number of pieces to my business that kind of work in a symbiotic relationship. So I have a social media account where I share a lot of my healthy lifestyle information, a lot of stuff around doTERRA and essential oils. And I also take the opportunity...
Plug. What's it called?
Oh, the whole daily.
There you go.
And I also take the time to share about the business that I work with doTERRA. It's something I'm incredibly honoured to have the chance to do. And I think that in this day and age, with, you know, a desire for some people to have multiple financial streams, that to not talk about the opportunity to partner with this business so that we ultimately become a healthier world and heal the world. I think it's silly not to bring that to the table. So Absolutely. I really mesh those two together. I desire to be able to then create spaces where we support our community. So for my customers within our team at doTERRA, we have a private Instagram community for them where we teach and educate. And then I also have one for those I'm partnering with from a business perspective as well. And so we bring them into, and it's not just me, I wouldn't be here today talking with you if it wasn't for this relationship of reciprocity that I have with my incredible team. So I have to mention them because you guys are amazing and I'm so grateful to work with you. And so I bring everyone into these collective spaces, or we bring them into these collective spaces. I also have a business which I run on the side, I suppose, which is called Gathered, and that's with my twin sister. We don't talk about essential oils in there per se, but we're sharing this community-based healthy lifestyle, farm to table, parenting, real food recipes, all of that type of stuff. So none of my businesses aren't completely and closely tied to helping the world become healthier. Whilst I will always have different things on the go at once, I consider myself to be a multi-passionate creative and entrepreneur at heart, and I always have multiple things on the go. I think if I tried to silo it down to one thing, I would probably end up with my head spinning around.
Internally combust.
Oh, I'd combust. I would absolutely combust.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, there's too much energy in here.
Too much passion.
There's too much. It's just too much. It's a lot. And so, but everything has one channel. It's kind of like all of these different components, and that can be tiring at times, yes, because of who I am as a person. But ultimately, the channel of that is so completely tied to doTERRA's vision and to the company and to how we heal the world. It's just every path makes me feel passionate to work on, I suppose, and improve. And it's always improving.
Yeah,
it's never done.
And it's beautiful to watch. And thank you for all the work that you do, because we want to lead better lives. And I know that you live in the beautiful coastal area up north.
It's pretty good.
And I live down south where it's always freezing, and yet I look at the way that you lead your lifestyle and it's inspirational for me. I want to do better. And so without you trying to avoid internal combustion, you're providing this service that really helps to elevate the way that we live our lives. And if you just go down the supermarket aisle 9, you can see what toxicity is sitting there. You can go down, I think it's aisle 2 now that has all the supplements now, and you think, is this actually serving me? Or am I better looking at the whole foods that I can eat and the way that I'm living my life and the foods that I'm feeding my children and preparing? That all has a layered effect in our ultimate end goal, which is living our best lives, right?
Oh, the health food section. So it's really interesting because I do see that happening. So I don't go into aisle 9. There's no need I have in my life to walk down there. Every now and then there's a supermarket that might have a dog bone down aisle 9, and so I'll race down really quickly and grab something
Hold
for
your
my
nose
dog.
and run.
Yeah. But even the health food section of supermarkets now, I see a lot of this as a way of disconnecting us from our empowerment. And I know empowerment is something doTERRA is really passionate about, self-responsibility and empowerment. And that's something that I so closely bring into my life. In fact, when I first bought a home essentials kit through doTERRA in 2016, I was eating well, exercising well. I bought it to actually diffusing my office to make my office smell good. But within a few months is what this, like the crumbs were kind of, or the pennies were dropping type of thing. And so we slowly, over the course of many, many months through the loyalty program, phased out all of the toxins that we had in our bathroom, laundry, kitchen cupboards, etc. And even just first aid and using oils and educating myself through, the amazing resources that we have. I injured myself one day where I would have reached for something that was typically over the counter, and instead I reached for lavender and tea tree, and I felt there was an actual feeling within myself of self-responsibility and self-empowerment, and that's the stuff that I really want to help inspire people to bring into their lives, because as soon as we know that we have the power of choice on our own health and wellness for ourselves and for our families, that is when our health truly begins to elevate. Because when we can make those choices for ourselves in home, with our first aid, with maybe sleep routines, with our supplementation routine to support us while we exercise, it's like that habit stacking where you do one thing and it helps you feel better enough to then do the next thing, helps you feel better enough to then do the next thing. And then you're surfing in the morning in Noosa at 41 years old and wondering how life was ever different, feeling better than you did at 22.
Amazing.
That's how it happens.
At 4 a.m. as well, which is just ludicrous.
The sun is up then, so.
It's definitely the middle of the night here in Melbourne.
I know, just that this morning. I woke up at 7, like, what is this?
I was thinking of, should I text you this morning and say, have you got up and done some exercise this morning, or is it too cold?
It's too cold. It's too cold for me. I'll wait and do a run in the afternoon.
I can just take that pressure off, because it's just too cold in Melbourne to get up at 4 a.m. It's not possible. But I like what you said about that habit stacking. And when you come to that realisation that these products can actually serve you in multiple different fashions, you realise that it's very likely the same products that are serving you in that healthy eating space, that's also serving you in the low tox living space. It also might be serving you in the mental wellbeing space. And so you can have that habit stacking, that layering effect from something as simple as, say, the home essentials. Now, I know we're not here to talk about the home essentials kit, but there is value in proposing that these essential oils can serve you in different areas of your life and save you money, which ultimately, the world's really expensive right now. So let's look at ways that we can play smarter, not harder. But we are here to talk about an incredible range. And before we do, I want to pop a drop, if I may, into your water.
I usually just like get the bottle and I drink it basically. I love it so much. I'm like, can I not really do this on camera?
Of course you can.
Maybe not.
Let's try that again. She's going to double dose.
I don't know where my mouth is.
Well, the other thing
this
you can do...
This is like the X-rated version of the... Oh, don't, sorry.
The other thing you can do is actually, if you feel a little bit too concerned about dropping, you know, one drop in your mouth and missing, just pop it on your thumb like that.
Just didn't want to do it with a communal bottle, you know. I wouldn't have taken it after you. No, I'm kidding.
I wouldn't recommend it the way I'm feeling at the moment.
It is actually... So I had the chance of getting the metaPWR oil.
Can I put it on?
Yeah, absolutely. A few months before we released it here in Australia. I think I might have got it off last year's convention kit from the US. And I'm a huge Smart and Sassy fan, was a huge Smart and Sassy fan. And the flavour of this, I think I finished that trial bottle that I got in about 2 weeks. I actually carry the bottle around and I just use it, just pop some in my mouth all throughout the day. So when people say, how do you use it? I'm just like, well, you just drink the bottle, just a couple of drops at a time.
So let it all of that out.
Yeah.
But so the metaPWR essential oil is that advanced formula from the Smart and Sassy that Australia and New Zealand used to have. And I spoke to Emily Wright a few weeks ago actually about this, and she was mentioning how they have slightly tweaked or edited the formulation to really expand on the experience and the efficacy of the essential oil, which is just remarkable. And when you've got ingredients in the blend like grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger and cinnamon bark essential oils, that is a powerhouse blend in itself, but it tastes really nice. So you can pop a drop in your cup of water like we've done, in your drink bottle as you're going throughout the day, and really get that uplifting experience. And I know we talk about uplifting a lot, but it does give you that spark, that
100%.
energy that you need. But interestingly, grapefruit essential oil actually really helps to not only stimulate the mind, but helps to stimulate the system as well.
So I think something that you've mentioned actually is really important to bring up from a doTERRA aromatic science perspective, and it's that doTERRA has tweaked a blend. Now, there may be other companies who will say, well, we've created a blend and here's what it is, and this is what we're going to tell you it's going to do based on historical use or traditional use of essential oils, run with it. So we had a blend which was already amazing, and we have a team of aromatic scientists. And so this is not, it's not this false story that happens behind the scenes. There is literally a laboratory with white coated aromatic scientists who work in our corporate office in Utah. And they are actively tasked with helping our essential oil blends offer more therapeutic value. And I actually find this so extraordinary because at the heart of doTERRA is a company who is leaning in as much as possible with the science of what is a natural therapeutic solution, basically, so that it helps more people. And so to take something that we already had, to run the studies on that, on how it works with our body systems and within our adipose tissue and within the motion and flow of our body, and then to look at it and say, but how can we make this better for our customers? If you then take that story and you put that on top of everything we produce here at doTERRA, that's how you end up with a company which is the #1 in the world in this industry. That's why we're here, which is so powerful. So the grapefruit essential oil, there's two things that really stand out for me within that, because they did tweak the blend and they increased the grapefruit and they increased the peppermint and they decreased, I think, the cinnamon from Smart and Sassy. But it's an oil that helps to stimulate the organs of detox within the body, and it helps to create motion and flow within the body. It's incredible for the skin. It's incredible for the supporting our lymphatic system. And in fact, in lymphatic drainage practices or the method of lymphatic draining massage, from a historical perspective, grapefruit is the #1 essential oil for lymphatic drainage. What you'll also find is that there is a really close correlation between the emotional properties of the essential oil and then the physical properties. So grapefruit essential oil from an emotional perspective is the oil of honouring the body. And so this is so closely aligned with how it actually works within our body systems as well. We recommend ourselves that when using metaPWR, yes, you can have it, a drop under the tongue or a drop in your water or a drop in your drink bottle. You can use it to motivate yourself and kind of elevate and expand prior to a workout. But you can also use it, we do dry body brushing with the metaPWR oil. So a couple of drops on a dry body brush, do that dry body brushing before you get into the shower in the night. And what you're doing is you're stimulating the circulation, you're stimulating that lymph system, and you're actually reducing and removing sluggishness from the body, so stagnancy, and you're allowing that flow. And it's an incredibly powerful blend, and it's one that we've been able to bring into so many different parts of our life. And being that I do travel a lot and there's 100 different essential oils I could take with me, it's now become one of those must-takes with me. So, my lavender, my Zengest, a perfume oil that I may be choosing at the time, metaPWR. It comes everywhere with me, and it's so powerful.
Beautifully said. Wow. It was like reading a product information page. All that key highlights information you just shared. That is gorgeous. And I loved how you touched on the way it can be infused into different aspects of your life. So when you're waking up in the morning, if you normally had a quick sniff of peppermint, for argument's sake, metaPWR can be that essential oil for you. If you're wanting to choose dry body brushing in the mornings before you pop into the shower, before you start your day, you could obviously incorporate metaPWR. Even just a drop in the corner of the base of the shower, just to get those aromatics going. We do our best thinking in the shower, and as women, it's our only time that we have free from children, from noise outside. What a beautiful oil to incorporate into that free thinking space. So I want to talk about routines at the end, and I want to be able to delve a little bit deeper into that real holistic way of living a day-to-day life and tapping into your very smart mind. So the next product that we have in the metaPWR system is our metaPWR Assist. This is a remarkable product that I find some people are quite confused about. How do I use this on a day-to-day basis? How many times a day do I take it? How have you used this so far?
Okay, so I feel like with the metaPWR Assist, it's actually, once you understand the zoomed out simple mechanics of what the natural herbal supplements. If I look at the ingredients in the metaPWR Assist, I'm just looking at plants. Now this really excites me. This is the same as when I recognized the power of the deep blue polyphenol complex, which is a completely underrated tool for people, I feel, at doTERRA. But the metaPWR Assist, I look at the ingredients and I see and understand that we have herbs in here like berberine and mulberry leaf that are supporting our metabolic system basically. But what some of these do is actually they reduce the carbohydrate uptake to the bloodstream, or they slow that down, which means that as we're eating meals or types of food that would typically have that fast spurt of energy, fast spurt of carbohydrates added to the bloodstream, it's actually working to smooth that out using natural herbs. And so the education piece that I like to share with my customers though is that we're not just saying, okay, well, I'm going to eat pasta at every meal because now I have my metaPWR Assist. Like we spoke about this habit stacking and empowerment. And these are two things that play a huge role in how we get the most out of the metaPWR system. So I would recommend taking a metaPWR Assist before one meal a day, and you would choose the meal for me that would have, and for you perhaps as well, that would have the highest carbohydrate value of that. So we're going to go out for a nice lunch, perhaps today. And what I would be thinking to myself is that if I'm going to a restaurant, which is not an everyday occurrence, that perhaps this meal may be, I might be eating some things I might not typically eat. So I've had a really nice healthy breakfast this morning. I'll have a really nice healthy dinner tonight. So I'm going to take that metaPWR Assist 15 minutes before my lunch today, and it's going to support the way my body absorbs the carbohydrates in that, and the way that actually helps us. And again, if we're thinking about supporting youthfulness, vitality, suppleness, if we want to look at that kind of model of feeling like we're aging backwards per se, each time we have a high carbohydrate meal, or each time we kind of dive into something like a croissant or a bun or like a big plate of pasta or something like that, and I'm not saying don't do that, we don't do goods or bads or anything like these, life is for living, okay?
Absolutely. And Loon, has done an incredible job with their croissants, so we cannot deny ourselves.
I will never be able to go to Loon again. I've eaten so many of those croissants. They are amazing. The assist would be very helpful before a Loon croissant, incredibly helpful. But what I'm saying is that you would then say have that metaPWR assist before a meal like that. You would allow the natural herbs within that to do their work. So an analogy that I like to use when I speak about how the assist may help support healthy blood glucose levels is like when a teenage guy rents a car and they go into the car park and do doughies. Like if they're putting the foot on the accelerator really hard and really fast, they're going to be, the car itself is going to be suffering wear and tear. And so if we have continuous fast blood glucose spikes in the body, it's actually pushing wear and tear into the body. And so the metaPWR assist can help to support healthy blood glucose levels. That means that wear and tear is slowed down.
So how would that play into, say, supporting with Advantage as well?
So with the metaPWR Collagen Advantage, one of the things that we hear a lot of people talk about as a direct result of this is that it's supporting brighter, healthier skin, and they feel like it's giving themselves such a more youthful glow.
Yeah.
And with the collagen from ethically marine source collagen, it's 70 times more bioavailable than a bovine collagen that a lot of women may have been taking in the past. So having that within a cool water dispensed sachet is so simple to use, and supporting our skin like that and youthfulness like that is an absolute plus, and something that I think most women desire in their life. I know I do.
And it tastes beautiful.
It tastes great. I actually put a couple of drops of my metaPWR oil with my Advantage sometimes. I just like to double down on things like that.
Pimp it up a bit.
It is. It's like supercharged.
There we go. But it's also about that habit stacking, right? So
100%.
once you get into that routine, that ritual each day, you're doing good for your system, and then your memory, your mind remembers how you're feeling when you're on these products. We all know that collagen's that big buzzword right now. It's like the hyaluronic of skincare. Everyone is talking about collagen, and there are just so many different collagen products on the market. But the reason why that particular product is different is for two very cool reasons. One, there are 9 different types of marine collagen in that blend. It is remarkable. The second really cool feature is that it is in a powdered form, so that when you're quickly add it to some water, and we're not talking a huge amount of water, we're talking around about a small glass of water, stir it up and down it. Almost scull that baby every single morning or afternoon, depending when you want to take it. It immediately floods the system with all of that good stuff. What do you love most about Advantage?
This is a marine collagen, so I love that it's 70 times more bioavailable than bovine collagen. So I know in Australia there's a lot of people that are on the grass-fed beef gelatin collagen or gelatin brigade. This marine collagen with its 9 different types of peptides has a 70% more bioavailability than that bovine collagen, which is really fantastic. So you are putting it in cool water as well, which is really great. So we're not losing any of the integrity of those peptides as well as we're ingesting them in the body. I actually know that, well, I know a lot of people say you can have it whenever you like throughout the day, but I do have recommendations for our customers here at doTERRA if they'd like to consider it. So one of the things that I obviously have in my life is a desire to move my body, and I love feeling the effects that has on my mental state and my physical state as well. And so collagen itself is around 98% protein. And so for me, if I was to have the Advantage sachet, I'd be doing so either during a long workout, or if I've just gone and done a spin class or something like that, I'm actually having that collagen Advantage sachet directly after my workout. And the reason is that collagen is what's going to help rejuvenate and repair. So it puts together that damage. And if we're pushing our body within an exercise routine, you're actually creating fissures within the muscle tissue of the body. And it's actually these fissures that when they are repaired tighter helps you become stronger. You break them down and then you build them back up stronger. And when you have the collagen Advantage directly after a workout, you've got really beautiful antioxidants in there and vitamin C, but you've also got that collagen, which is going to help to basically put the body back together again afterwards. And it does help to assist that rejuvenation of that collagen production within the body. And again, this leads us to look more youthful.
And you've tapped into something so popular at the moment as well, that whole beauty trend, where some people don't have that foresight to look at how am I going to feel or look in 40, 50 years time. Some people are consumed with the day-to-day, and that's okay. But knowing that there's a product like this, it can actually support the way you look and feel both internally and externally, That's remarkable. And knowing that you've got that, like you mentioned earlier, those guys in those white lab coats that know what they're doing in that big scientific room in Utah, they've tested this.
Yeah, it's
They've
serious.
tried it, and it's serious business. It could be its own business on its own. And so here's our opportunity in Australia and New Zealand, not only to re-spark everyone's individual motivations in their own health and well-being, but also re-spark people's businesses. This is a game changer, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, I'd love to circle back to that self-empowerment and self-responsibility piece and the education around metabolic health and why it's so important. So we're talking about something that and to go to that car analogy almost again, you're looking at a product range that is at its core designed to increase our health span and support longevity. And so when we're actually looking at something like this, a customer who truly understands this has begun to think about what their life is going to be like at 70 or 80 or 90 years old. And the current common system of sick care, I suppose, does not support long-term thinking. It supports this. And so what doTERRA has continued to do so well is educate on the importance of longevity and long-term health. And you cannot have that without self-empowerment. I truly believe that those people who are on the dance floor at 90 years old, when I'm that age, are the people who now and yesterday and the day before began to think about what life would be like as they age. And that's why when you have a product range like this and you have the self-empowerment tools that are offered in the essential oils range or the supplementation range or the healthier options within the skincare range and hair care range, it's the people who have a doTERRA account and who use that healthy lifestyle store for what it is, which is self-empowerment in all areas of their home, physical, emotional, environmental life, that are going to be cutting it up and pogoing at 90 years old on the dance floor with my team. Yeah.
Gorgeous. And look, just to circle back, at the very beginning you said that you've had people recognise the health benefits that they can physically see in you year on year on year when you've been involved with doTERRA and living a more healthy, holistic lifestyle. So let's look, everybody, and let's look down the barrel of the camera, so to speak, and say, what do you want to look like in 7 years' time yourself? And is today the day that you make that change? Go, what am I going to do for myself now so that in 7 years' time, you're going to be looking and feeling your best?
Yeah. I want people to try these for 30 days, and I get my customers to take a photo of themselves, a selfie, right? Take a photo of yourself on the first day you start taking these 3 products. Have yourself in, standing with good lighting, no make or, makeup free, and just hold on to that and then do this for 30 days. And there is not a product in the doTERRA range. I find this so phenomenal. There's not a product in our range that doesn't take more than a couple of minutes or 2 seconds to use. It takes 5 seconds to set the diffuser up. It takes 5 seconds to 10 seconds to stir Advantage into water, or 2 seconds to spill some metaPWR drops down your face, or to put a drop of metaPWR in your drink. It takes 1 second to down a metaPWR Assist capsule with those herbal supplements in there. These are super simple habits, and if our customers stack in even 5 simple doTERRA tools each day, the only outcome of that is, like, the worst case scenario, they end up as healthier individuals. Now, that's a pretty powerful business to work in. That's right. Pretty exciting.
That is absolutely right. And look, I'll be honest, I've saved myself roughly $6 a day because I've been taking the Advantage versus having my takeaway coffee in the morning. So
we are not the same people.
I am saving money, and I'm able to ditch and switch from what I was necessarily not serving me 100% healthily to now feeling a whole lot better. So thank you, doTERRA.
I love it. That's your metamonial.
There we go. Thank you so much for joining me on my beautiful U-shaped couch today. It's been an absolute treat. I knew this would be a roller coaster. I knew we would go and dart into different areas, and I've loved having an insight into how your beautiful brain works.
Thank
and
you.
I hope that everyone as well has enjoyed hearing from you today, Al.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. I could talk about this stuff all day. It truly is, honestly, my life's work. I will work in this industry, health and wellness, until
You're 90.
in my life, yeah, past that. I honestly, people talk about retirement. There is none for me. I can't imagine ever not doing this. And as long as doTERRA continue to be around, this is a business that I'm going to partner with because of what we do in the world and that incredible work. It's beautiful. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.